Stephen WonderBoy Thompson turns back the clock against Kevin Trailblazer Holland with a dominant performance. WonderBoy is back in the win column. And WonderBoy, I'm sorry I ever doubted you. I picked Kevin Holland. I was so confident that Holland eventually was going to catch him somewhere throughout these 5 rounds. I thought, there's no way WonderBoy is going to be able to avoid getting caught. And he's old. He's going to be too chinny now. He's not going to be able to handle the power. And he's just going to get starched. And he's going to be one of the many vets who gets killed off this year. But nope. Stephen WonderBoy Thompson, he stood his ground and he said, not today, son, not today. And he schooled Kevin Holland. Round 1 was a bit of a scare, though. Round 1 was a bit of a scare. That was Holland's round. WonderBoy was doing okay, but then at some point in that round, he was getting tagged by some big right hands, wobbled a little bit, but he was able to hang in there. He was able to survive, and WonderBoy is tough, eh? Both guys are. Both guys are durable, but WonderBoy has proven that, yeah, that Pettis knockout was a fluke, and that was the only time he's ever been knocked out across all combat sports, kickboxing, karate, and mixed martial arts. He's fought harder hitters than that before and after. And none of these guys were able to put Stephen Thompson out like that. Stephen Thompson, great chin, great recovery, but he took shots from Kevin Holland. And then round 2, Stephen Thompson, after the 10-9 round 1 for Holland, Stephen Thompson came back and stole back momentum headed into round 2 and started tagging Kevin Holland with big straight shots. I can't remember if it was the left or right hand because Thompson fights in both stances, but he was tagging him with some good shit. He was tagging Kevin Holland with some good shit, but Holland has a chin. He was able to eat it, so I thought, okay, Holland will take these shots and eventually fire back something bigger and harder and get the knockout. But nope, that wasn't the case. And he just kept picking Kevin Holland apart. Outside of Kevin Holland's right hand, he had nothing for WonderBoy in terms of striking. WonderBoy was just too technical, too dynamic on the feet, too fast. WonderBoy in just striking is a master. Kevin Holland, he's just too sloppy. Yeah, he's awkward, he's fast, he has a weird way of being able to land on you where you don't see the shots coming, but against WonderBoy, with the level of striking Thompson has, that just wasn't going to fly by. So, of course, he gets outclassed on the feet by Thompson. There was one moment where WonderBoy slipped, Kevin fell on top of him, but Kevin's pride and ego would not allow him to take advantage of the situation, which was very dumb of Kevin Holland. If he literally came to win tonight, he could have secured the top position, stayed on top, held WonderBoy down for the remainder of, the second round, and maybe been up 2-0 going into round 3. But he chose to let a dangerous striker like WonderBoy back up and continue taking an ass whooping on the feet. And then round 3, it was the same thing. WonderBoy just continued to dominate. But here's where it really went downhill for Kevin. And here's where there was no chance of a mid to late rounds comeback by Holland. Stephen WonderBoy Thompson, he kicked Kevin Holland in the power side because Kevin kept blocking that high kick with his right hand, which eventually his right hand / arm overall actually broke. He broke Kevin Holland's right arm and right hand. So Kevin Holland was not able to throw with that right hand anymore, or at least do it with the same ferocity that he was able to before his hand, or when his hand was fresh. So from there, the fight was a wrap. He couldn't land his money shot right hand. He could only throw with the left, which WonderBoy was able to see that, slip that all day, not get caught by that. And from there, it was just game over for Kevin Holland. And then round 4, it really got ugly. Stephen Thompson just kept kicking him in that right arm, and then Holland would shoot for desperation takedowns, but WonderBoy just wasn't having it. He was defending those takedowns, continued dominating the stand-up, absolutely swarmed Kevin Holland, just beat the crap out of Kevin Holland against the fence. But Holland's able to survive that beating, after getting dropped, makes it into round 5, but it doesn't go into round 5 because his corner calls it off, because by that point, Kevin Holland was very, very defenseless. Without that right hand, he really had nothing for Stephen WonderBoy Thompson, and it just wasn't going to get any better. So it was the right call by Kevin Holland's corner. And in hindsight, this fight was somewhat of a mismatch. Not to disrespect Kevin Holland, but we all should have seen it coming. But a lot of us, we went for Kevin Holland. Most people had Holland winning because we just thought WonderBoy didn't have it anymore. He's old, he's past his prime, which I still think he's not all the way in his prime. But the reason why WonderBoy started losing these fights recently is because he just recently started fighting guys who actually started taking grappling heavy approaches against him, although I'm pretty sure Rory McDonald went for a lot of takedowns and it didn't work out, and I heard he stuffed a lot of takedowns from Hendricks. So not to deny that WonderBoy has any kind of defensive wrestling, maybe his defensive wrestling has declined, but if you're going to beat WonderBoy, it's not going to be in just striking. You have to grapple him if you're going to beat him decisively. The only guys who've ever beaten WonderBoy in striking, minus Pettis, who knocked him out, he was getting dusted on the feet before the Superman punch. But outside of Pettis, the only guys who've beaten him just striking was Tyron Woodley and Darren Till. But those were razor-thin, close decisions that WonderBoy arguably could have won if it weren't for those late-round knockdowns against Woodley and Darren Till. But on the feet tonight just shows that in just a striking match, WonderBoy is a handful for anybody, and you have to mix it up against him. You got to make it an MMA fight against Stephen Thompson. You cannot play into his game, and I should have picked WonderBoy because Kevin Holland, I knew he wasn't going to grapple. I thought he could catch him eventually, but he couldn't catch him. It wasn't that simple. WonderBoy was way too slick for Kevin Holland. Kevin is too reckless, too sloppy, and his ego's too big for him to just mix it up and grapple. He likes to stand and bang, and that's just not how you're going to beat Stephen WonderBoy Thompson. So yeah, with Holland's style, it was pretty much tailor-made for WonderBoy to win. Which, once again, I should have seen this coming. I was just too afraid of WonderBoy getting chinned. I was scared we were going to see like a Dominic Cruz versus Cheeto Vera type scenario where like the vet is doing good and winning and then boom, gets cracked. That's what I thought we'd see happen. Thank God it didn't. I was rooting for WonderBoy to win this fight even though I didn't pick him. I really didn't want to see him get knocked out. That would have broke my heart, so I'm glad he won. But now that begs the question, what do you do with WonderBoy? I'm looking at these rankings. He's ranked number 6. The only guys who are ahead of him right now are Burns and Muhammad, who already beat him. Yeah, and then the other two ahead of him are some of the best wrestlers in the division. Khamzat Chimaev, Colby Covington, and Kamaru Usman. Yeah, if WonderBoy has to fight either 3 of those guys, he's definitely getting folded. Burns would beat him the same way again. He might be able to beat Bilal, but I highly doubt it. Bilal would probably grind him out with the wrestling again. He actually matches pretty well with the current champion, Leon Rocky Edwards, because even though Leon is more complete and has better grappling than WonderBoy, and unlike NPC Holland, he'll actually use his grappling and take advantage of situations in the grappling against WonderBoy. Still, he's not the greatest wrestler in the division defensively or offensively. I think WonderBoy could actually handle himself well if Leon does decide to mix it up. And in the striking department, I actually think WonderBoy could beat Leon Edwards on the feet. And I could honestly see him knocking Leon out. I don't think Leon Edwards will have the chin or toughness or overall durability that Kevin Holland displayed tonight, because we know Leon Edwards is a little bit chinny. I think WonderBoy could chin him. Leon likely and in theory should win that fight against WonderBoy, but I think he has a better chance beating Leon than he does beating 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But WonderBoy is in a really tricky position. I really don't know what he's going to do. Jeff Neal's fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov, who WonderBoy ducked. I don't think they do that rematch with Jeff Neal anytime soon. And yeah, WonderBoy doesn't want that Shavkat smoke, so that's not happening. They're not going to give him Sean Brady because Sean Brady would wrestle fuck him. I don't know if they'll make the Luque rematch. But one thing he did mention, though, was running it back with Masvidal, the BMF versus the NMF. Honestly, I'd be down for that. Masvidal is looking for a fight, and I know Masvidal would actually be down. Because of all the fights that Masvidal has been ducking and turning down, I actually think he would take a rematch with WonderBoy, knowing that WonderBoy beat him in the past. He might want to rerun it with Stephen Thompson. And he's looking to fight on that London pay-per-view. So maybe we could book, the UFC could make Thompson versus Masvidal 2 at UFC 286 in London, March 18th. That could actually work. Like, we could stack that card up, in all honesty, and make it like a welterweight tournament. I mean, they might put Chimaev versus Covington on there as like a co-main event. Imagine having the BMF versus the NMF rematch on there, as well as like the feature fight. That would make the card huge. Thompson versus Masvidal 2, Chimaev versus Covington, Edwards versus Usman 3. Whew, that'd be spicy. But other than Masvidal, I really don't think WonderBoy really has any other options. Maybe he could fight Mikael Pereira, but Thompson's talking about making a title run, a run for the title. He's not giving up on that title. So if he's not giving up on that title, I was thinking maybe he could fight Mikael Pereira, but again, I don't think he wants to go backwards. He wants to go forward, make a title run. So if he wants to make a run for that title, he has no choice but to face the best wrestlers, grapplers in the division, which if that's the case, he's not making it through any of them. Therefore, he's not making it to a title shot. And as sad as it is to say, he's never going to be champion. His best chance at being champion was 2015, 16, that era. If he had got the title shot before Woodley beat Lawler for the title, if he fought Robbie for the belt, I actually think WonderBoy would have outclassed Robbie Lawler. He would have took the belt from him. Woodley was just a bad matchup because of his explosiveness, the power combined with his high-level wrestling and grappling. Tough fight for WonderBoy. He could have beaten Lawler. But yeah, WonderBoy in 2023, I can't see him winning the title. But as of right now, the night does belong to Stephen Thompson. So congrats, WonderBoy, for getting it done. Happy for you. Let me know what you guys in the comment section think of this performance and what should be next for Stephen Thompson. Like and subscribe. Share this video if you can. And yeah, peace out.